All right. So, why magic needs physics and why it doesn't.
The following message is transmitted.
I take magic very seriously. And what I mean by that is that it's not a aesthetic or a lifestyle or a trend to hop on. It is a very real and demonstrable phenomena which you can use to change your life. And this is very, very important to me because I want people to have this ability to change their lives in the same way that I have, because it made my life better. And I want that for everyone. I want people to be able to improve their circumstances, and magic can do this for you. So if we take magic very seriously and we view it as being something very real, then it must have an explanation in physics. That does not mean that we have to understand it right now. There's plenty of physics that we don't understand, but the explanation is there waiting to be discovered. And here's why this is important. Okay. If you drive a car and you have absolutely no idea how that car works, sure, you're still able to drive. But if you have an understanding of how your car works, you become a better driver and a safer driver. You understand your car more thoroughly. You understand the maintenance that it requires. You understand it at a mechanical level, and this gives you an edge. Magic is exactly the same way. Sure, you can learn to cast spells. You can learn to read tarot. You can learn a lot of these things and still have absolutely no idea how they work. That's a little bit dangerous. I'm just going to say it. If you have a thorough mechanical understanding of how magic works, then you become a better, safer magician. Okay, so, here's the crux though. We don't thoroughly understand how it works. There is no complete and thorough definitive explanation. And the reason for this is that we don't thoroughly understand physics. There are many models at the cutting edge of physics that we don't understand at all. Quantum mechanics is a prime example of this. There are no real explanations for what we call the observer effect. And yet the observer effect is exactly what I think is making magic work. Because the observer effect, essentially, if you are looking at a particle, it behaves like a particle. If you're not looking at it, it behaves like a wave. This is wave-particle duality, and it's demonstrated by the double slit experiment, which there are plenty of videos about all over YouTube. Check it out. It's crazy stuff. But it implies that what you observe, what you interact with at a conscious level, you also change, right? And this is the core principle, from my point of view, that makes magic work. Now, in chaos magic, we're always looking for that underlying mechanic, right? I think about the various kinds of magic that are out there. Let's say Wicca and Thelema and, hoodoo and all these different types of folk magic and religious magic, all the practices from all over the world. They're like languages. There is not one correct language. What there is an underlying mechanic that connects all languages, and that's the use of words, right? And language is magic. Words are magic. Just think about this. Every word in a dictionary is defined by other words, and we made up all those words, and yet they define our entire reality. So if you don't think words are magic, just ponder that for a moment. Another really interesting explanation for how magic could be operating is simulation theory. And I don't personally like the idea that we're living in a simulation, but it's a real possibility. And there are many physicists out there who are saying it's overwhelmingly likely that we do live in a simulation. And if we live in a simulation, magic is just hacking the simulation, right? It's using cheat codes. So there are fascinating explanations for how magic works. And I would encourage you as an occultist, as a magician, to really look into these and, to the best of your ability, give yourself a mechanical understanding of how magic works. Again, because it makes you a better, safer, more educated occultist. Personally, I find that the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics and string theory, when they're combined, have a perfect explanation for the spirit realm, for magic, and for how it all operates. And understanding that has made a massive difference to my practice. My magic works much better than when I was just doing magic out of a book. It's night and day. The difference is incredible. So magic needs physics because we need to explain this. We want to legitimize magic, right? We want people to understand that this is real and it's a tool that you can use. We've got to be able to explain it and talk about it at a high level. That's why magic needs physics. Now, here's why it doesn't. We don't thoroughly understand these models of physics. We don't thoroughly understand quantum mechanics. We don't understand if we're living in a simulation or not. These are just theories. And in the current state that physics is in, you have to pick one of these theories to believe in. Now, belief is very interesting. If you enjoy physics and you're watching physics videos on YouTube, you might watch a video by Brian Greene, or you might watch a video by Michio Kaku, or watch a video from Sabine Hosenfelder. And guess what? None of them agree with each other. And they kind of all point the finger at each other in a lot of ways, saying you're wrong, and here's why. Magicians have been doing this forever, right? Occultists and religious people have been doing this forever. We don't have objective truth in this area. So your beliefs, that's all you have. The model that makes the most sense to you, that's the one you should stick with. That's the one you should place your belief in. Now, the core axiom of chaos magic is that belief itself is a tool. So you have your beliefs about magic, about what model of physics is going on here, and then you have your understanding of that model. And both of these things build upon your magical practice and give you something that you can comprehend and then use. This is how you build the tool. Get comfortable with not knowing, but also strive to know as much as you possibly can. That right there, that's the ticket. I'm telling you. Get comfortable not knowing, strive to know as much as you possibly can, right? These things are called the mysteries for a reason. These are deeply, deeply complicated topics. Is reality real? What does real mean, right? To, get into the Matrix kind of idea. Is anything real? Your experience of reality that you're having right now is a mental experience. Your brain is creating a cartoon, and that's what you're experiencing. But we know that that cartoon is real, or at least an element of it is real. Donald Hoffman is a psychologist who believes that everything that we're experiencing is a kind of interface reality, right? It's a simulation, but not a technologically imposed simulation. So it's like the desktop on your computer. You see Windows, but what's really going on is the manipulation of electrical circuits, right? We don't experience reality at that fundamental level. We experience something more like Windows. This theory is really interesting to me because it goes right along with the principle of mentalism that you find in the Kybalion, which is one of the most important of all occult texts. So again, right, magic needs physics, but what it needs more than physics is belief. However, it's much easier to place your belief in something if you understand it from a mechanical level. So magic needs physics. Again, it does. You need to understand this stuff at a high level, but at that high level is when you realize that what you're doing is putting your belief into a model. One of the things I find most fascinating about this is that physics is in the exact same state of crisis that religion is in. Our God's the right God. Oh, our God's the right God. Ah! Right? This model of physics is the right. No, this model of physics. It's the same thing. So we don't know, but we should strive to know as much as we possibly can. Magic needs physics. Maybe physics needs magic. Anyways, go forth, have fun, create chaos, do magic. I'll see you on the next video.